To you, Fox Weather's hurricane specialist Brian Norcross. He's credited with saving thousands of lives for his warnings for Hurricane Andrew. So we're going to relive that storm that devastated South Florida. We're going to look at the changes that happened afterwards. Fox Weather's report, The Wrath of Hurricane Andrew. Tragedy and Triumph 30 years later. You can watch that, premieres tonight at 7. Brian is joining us now. Brian, we've seen very powerful hurricanes the past few years. What were the differences and similarities that you saw with Hurricane Andrew?
Well, Andrew was just at the top end of the list. There will never be a storm that is significantly stronger than Andrew. The best way to think about it, you're not in the hurricane zone, and I know you're not in the Northwest, is a 20-mile wide EF5 top-end tornado. Wow. That's really what it was. The winds were gusting over 200 miles an hour, and that's how you measure tornadoes. And 200 miles an hour is where EF5s start. So that's why we had such extreme damage in Hurricane Andrew.
So Brian, you were telling me during the commercial break that your coverage lasted more than 20 hours, and that wasn't even the personal record. What did it take for your station to bring coverage for that long?
Well, we had decided when I went to work there as chief meteorologist that we were going to be the hurricane station, and we put together a hurricane plan. We put in backup systems. I had installed a line, a direct line to a local radio station's transmitter, just in case for some reason we had a terrible storm and our TV tower fell over, we could still be on the radio. And as it turned out in Hurricane Andrew, we didn't lose the TV tower, but most people lost television reception. And that's how they listened to us through the storm. And that line was tested 1 week before Andrew hit. So we put in all these backup plans, and I'm talking to you today because we did the preparation, and other stations didn't have the kind of systems that we had in place.
It's critical work for warning people about the hurricane. So the thing about Andrew, the damage was so incredibly widespread. You could see it from the helicopter view. Was that a problem with codes, with construction? How do you explain such widespread damages?
Well, the biggest issue was the strength of the storm, but the building code was not up to Andrew, and there had been these lapses in the code that inspectors weren't doing their jobs and so forth in the 1980s before this storm hit. And since then, Miami and the Miami area decided we're not going to allow this to happen again, and now the building code there for anything built since the mid-90s is the best in the world. It's the standard that everybody uses around the world to build strong buildings in hurricane zones. We also have much better emergency management systems in the entire country, including in the Pacific Northwest. The system that's used really was developed after Hurricane Andrew. But one of the things I told you about the radio station, people listened to me on their transistor radio in the middle of the night as their houses were collapsing around them.
Wow.
But that transistor radio, that portable radio, has been replaced by a mobile phone. And today, nobody thinks the mobile phone system is going to work in a Category 5 hurricane or in a huge earthquake. As a matter of fact, the mobile phone system is likely to not work. So we've lost that ability that people had back then. Everybody had a portable radio then. Now most people don't have a thing around the house.
And Brian, I appreciate you explaining more on this. So we know that winds caused the incredibly severe damages, but tell me about storm surge with this.
Well, storm surge was a record, actually, for the Miami area in Hurricane Andrew. It was almost 17 feet. The Biscayne Bay, which is the body of water by Miami, rose up 17 feet above normal. Waves were crashing into the second floors of buildings, but it happened to hit the least populated part on the entire Florida coast. So storm surge did not end up being the story in Andrew. If the storm had moved a little farther north, it would have taken out the commercial center of Miami, but it missed it by about 12 miles. Just that small amount of difference that would have made all the difference in the world, would have probably quadrupled what the damage from Andrew was, maybe more than that. And Andrew was already the most expensive natural disaster in the history of the United States, times almost 4, when it hit in 1992.
Tough to imagine that, Brian. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Abby.
All right, to see more of Brian and for all things weather, download the Fox Weather app now, and you can stream your favorite connected TV device. Bill and Liz?